Madam Finance Minister, as we look back at the 10 years of the Modi Sarkar, on the economic report card, there are areas of strength and achievements, and then there are some concerns. I want to draw your attention to two visualizations compiled by the India Today Data Intelligence Unit and get you to comment on your strategy to deal with these. These are economic realities. I want to understand how you're dealing with them. I'll take shrinking consumer spending first. So on your screen coming up is a visualization that maps consumer spending going back to 2 decades. So if you see, consumer spending over the last couple of years has actually come down to levels below where we were a couple of decades ago. Do you see this as being normal? There's a lot of concern in some economic circles that consumer spending is going down, and why, and whether beyond the big headline economic growth numbers, there is underlying stress. So that's one. The second is to do with household savings. So if you call up the visualization on household savings, here as well, there is some concern in terms of whether household saving, which has really been one of the strengths of the Indian economy, because Indians, unlike more profligate consumers in the West, tend to save more, whether that is changing and whether that again at some level is representative of economic stress. So if you look at those, I'm sure you've had an opportunity to absorb what the trend lines are suggesting. So Madam Finance Minister, your sense on the concern that behind the growth numbers is an underlying stress reflected and captured in these charts.
I'll first take on the household savings. Yes, the number which is shown is based on savings, small savings. And there are very many schemes through which we are trying to capture with better interest rates. Like the one which we gave in honor of women, we said you take up a fixed deposit before the 31st of March 2024, you get a higher rate of interest, and many women have started investing money into the fixed deposit because the rate of interest was much higher than what otherwise the banks would give. So by doing these, where the interest rate was remaining low for a long time and people didn't think it was worth putting money into the small savings schemes or the banks, we had to prop that up with specified targets with higher interest rate, which means we are subsidizing. But what is also equally happening, and which doesn't get captured in this, is people today, when I say people, retail, small people, are also going to the stock markets. Not just going through mutual funds, but also going through demat accounts which they open on their own. So actually since after 2020, you find that monies going to the stock market in the name of retail investments have gone substantially high. In fact, India stands out as one of those countries where retail investors are directly going to stock market. And that should also get captured and not seen as speculation. It's certainly investing their savings into stock market rather than putting into savings schemes. That's about savings. If you talk about consumption, there can be a disparity, and that will be a matter of my worry so that I can see how best I can help out in consumption expenditure. But consumption expenditure also depends on the items which go into the basket. And when you talk to the fast-moving goods which are reaching out to rural areas, there are dips and rises, but people are spending on goods which are consumer durables as much as they used to do when days were not affected by COVID earlier. So I think what is important for us is to see how in the medium term it pans out, rather than get carried away by month-on-month expenditure analysis. It is important to know because you'll get to see how it's moving. But I would be looking at both with a larger screen before me.
बिस्तक आपके लिए लाया है प्रीमियम मेंबरशिप प्रोग्राम, जहां आपको मिलेंगे कई सारे फायदे, जिनमें मार्केट न्यूज़लेटर, लाइव चैट पर आपके सवालों के सबसे पहले जवाब, मार्केट आउटलुक, वीकेंड पर मार्केट स्कैन, एंकर्स के साथ चैट और भी बहुत कुछ। इस प्रीमियम सब्सक्रिप्शन में 3 तरह के प्लान्स हैं, सिल्वर, गोल्ड और प्लैटिनम, जिनकी शुरुआत मात्र 159 रुपए महीने से होती है। इससे जुड़ना भी बेहद आसान है। बिस्तक के YouTube चैनल पर जाएं, ज्वाइन बटन पर क्लिक करें और अपना प्लान सिलेक्ट करें। बस बन गए आप हमारे प्रीमियम मेंबर।